Hello and welcome to round 11 of the Skill Issue Fantasy Series 2021. Where we left things off, there is a close fight, only 4 points between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton at the top of the driver's standings. I am tied with Carlos Sainz at 69 points, which is hilarious because that's the sex number. We're at Road Atlanta now, a fantastic track. Let's get right onto that hot lap. So Road Atlanta is a track that I did not know about until Gran Turismo 7, and that's where I fell in love with it. It's super interesting, it's got some interesting corners, a lot of places where you can just lift and get through it, and there's not a whole lot of space to fight with anyone. So it's going to be an interesting race, and with the car on the low fuel that I have for qualifying, I found myself being a little too careful. That'll be reflected in the final qualifying positions. Strategy-wise, it's going to be soft to medium this time, because I don't know when the AI will think to pit on this track. I just know they're only going to do it once. So I'm hoping for an undercut and a longer running tire. Maybe that'll get me a bit of an advantage. That's for later though. Right now I'm going to let the hot lap play out and get back to you with the qualifying results.
The leader's just done a 57.84. The leader's just done a 57.42. P8.
So at the end of qualifying, it is Lewis Hamilton on pole, Checo in second place, Lando Norris rounding out the podium, and Valtteri Bottas best of the rest. A little bit surprising that Max Verstappen down in P8, a little more surprising that teammate George is in 11th, and not at all surprising that I only managed to qualify in P18. But like I said, hopefully that tire strategy will work in my favor. Just gonna go right onto the race and see how that works for me.
Get ready. Go, go, go.
So it is 5 green lights and immediately making up another position before the first corner, avoiding contact, slipping back into 18th for just a second, but working my way around the outside of several cars going into the second corner there, up to P15 at the top of this first hill. Working my way down now, just trying not to clip too much of the curbs, trying not to lock up around that corner there, and stuck in P15 around the back of the Alpine here. Going into the next couple set of right-handers here, there's an opportunity to make up positions, and I only make up one, unfortunately. Keeping it clean, no contact, going through those right-handers gets me up to P14. We're on the long run now towards what ends up being the chicane that makes up the second and third to last corners of the track. Just trying to keep some slipstream because, again, there is no DRS. Getting through the open door left by the Alfa Romeo into the first half of the chicane. Not going to complain about that. A little spotty over the top of this hill with every lap. I'm not particularly comfortable, but we try to make it work. Going down towards the first corner here, I've got slipstream and I immediately forget where to start coasting. Take it too far. Hit the grass, don't crash out or anything, get back onto the track. Almost made contact with the back of the Aston Martin and start the second lap down in P17. Later in that second lap though, as we head towards the chicane, got battery, got a bit of an open space there, kind of cutting it close, but keeping it legal, getting up to P16 around that Aston Martin and ready to start working my way up the order. Same spot on the next lap though, you can see I'm working my way into working in front of the AlphaTauri when all of a sudden Alpine makes contact with teammate George, slowing him up, giving me an extra position on that overtake from P16 to P14 at the end of lap 3.
Okay.
Midway through lap 4 now to the back-to-back 90-degree right-hand corner is going to take the inside around the Alpine and hit the battery to max because this is a long stretch going into the next set of corners. Working my way beside and then eventually past the Aston Martin to P12. Gonna go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo around this right-hander, which translates almost immediately to the inside of the chicane, making another position. That is 3 places gained in that one little stretch of track. Loving it, very sloppy over the hill, but that's okay, keeping the position at the end of lap 4.
P11. That lap was at 1.
And that would be it for fighting in the first half. At the end of lap 9, going to go into the pits, going to put on medium tires, and have a little more than half of a race left to hopefully get an advantage on the harder compound. So coming out of the pits on the 10th lap put me in P16 on the medium tires and chasing down the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. Now this track doesn't give you a lot of overtaking opportunities if you aren't already close to the competition ahead of you, so it was a matter of patience knowing that the Aston Martin was on soft tires. There would be a crossover point where I did have a time advantage on the harder compound. Just got to keep it clean, got to keep it patient. There is still plenty of race left, and that eventually led to this point on lap 16. As we reach the top of the hill at the start of lap 16, you can see Mick Schumacher has left the pits and immediately slows up Sebastian Vettel, who I've spent the last chunk of race chasing down. Not quite close enough on that corner to make a move, but as we come to the bottom of the hill here, we know there is one of the rare braking points on the track coming up. Almost making contact, but taking the inside. They slow each other up, and that is me past 2 cars up to P12 on lap 16.
That's mate, well done.
The rest of the race was just a matter of defending my position, coming around the corner in P11, hoping to pass someone in the pits, which is exactly what happens. Starting the final lap in the final points position. Really just want to get anything out of this race, having started in P18. So keeping it clean, trying to defend my position all the way to the end of the race.
Position. And there's the finish. Good result, mate. Well done.
In the end, it is Checo winning the race, Charles Leclerc in P2, and Max Verstappen from 8th to 3rd position, taking the final podium places with Daniel Ricciardo best of the rest. I myself finished in P10, and Lewis Hamilton actually falling out of the points entirely. Not sure what happened there. What that means for the Drivers' Championship is that it's still Max Verstappen on top, but now Valtteri Bottas in P2 and Lewis Hamilton 19 points behind the lead in P3 with Charles Leclerc best of the rest. I have a singular hold on P8 now, which isn't great, but it's better than last year, so I'll take it. Up next is the Canadian Grand Prix, which was not a great race for me last year, and also in any other year. I struggled with that track, so just hoping to put on a decent performance. No idea yet, time will tell on that one, so until then, thanks for coming around, have a good day, and bye!